Hi,
Hello.
it's nice to see you.
Yes. Yes.
How have you been this week?
Well, just a little nervous, a little apprehensive, and getting more concerned about the situation that me and my son are living in. He just seems to have fits of. My husband just has fits of anger, and I don't think that's a good way to bring up a young, impressionable boy. Especially in today's society, it needs a strong man, or at least one person that he can count on. So I thought I'd come here and talk to you again about maybe finding
Certainly,
something.
we have a lot of things to go over today.
Yeah.
First, let me start off by explaining something to you. My supervisor had reviewed my work and my notes, and I need to share with you that you are my very first client. And
Well, that's impressive. Yeah, I get to be number one.
and I overlooked quite a few things that I need to cover with you in order for us to move on forward.
Right, I'm sure.
And I also wanted to make you aware that I'm a hearing impaired social worker. So I work better with you if you look at me when you're speaking, and then we will be able to communicate very well with one each other.
I'm trying to be clear, I guess.
Right, exactly.
Clear.
And so I wanted to tell you that, I kind of felt really bad because I didn't really mess up your interview, your first interview.
Well,
but
probably me. I was just like a little anxious.
No, ma'am.
I'm getting worried about stuff.
I understand. We're getting there. But I wanted to share with you what I did because I just I was not adequate to make myself.
I'm back. So yes, you were adequate.
I went and donated my time to the women's shelter over there, probably where you called. I'm assuming that you called.
Yeah.
And that made me feel a little bit better about being not as efficient, if we should say.
Just need courage, I guess, to take that leap, Make sure you're doing the right
it's
thing.
really important that individuals, when they feel less empowered, find ways to feel good about themselves, to feel empowered. So, what have you done this week for yourself to feel positive about yourself and your situation?
Well, I have better thoughts. I do believe that if I gain control of the situation, that would have a more positive, energy type vibe with me and my son and our living situation. Bad vibes and bad anger and lashing out at people for no reason and demanding all the time. It's just not the way to raise a boy.
What about your mother and father? Are they living?
No, unfortunately, they died. That's so. But I do have a brother. He's still alive. I have a sister.
And
she died too.
Do you
Terrible.
communicate?
No, it's awful, but he's schizophrenic, and they don't have the proper channels to stay in touch with him. Nor is it a good idea.
I understand that. And there's no one else?
No, just friends you work with. And
Do
stuff.
you have any affiliations with local churches, or do you a regular go to church?
No, I don't. To tell you the truth, no. But I have good thoughts about the Bible, yeah.
Oh, please, I'm not.
Yeah, but I just thought I'd do it, not amoral. Raising a boy, take him away. No, I just think it'd be good for him to get away from an environment that he's in, and it would take courage for me to do that, so.
Are you willing to approach your husband about getting help? And if your husband's not willing to get help, how far are you willing to go?
Well, it's come up in arguments and other things, and neither they haven't worked, It's just one of those really bad situations that the best way to do is just forget that situation ever happened, to make a split. So I'm ready to move on. I mean, I need to find a way out of this marriage. Sooner or later, the marriage, but right now, the environment.
I understand. So you really feel it's imperative, and there's no solutions.
No, I thought about it, and so hopefully.
Okay, that doesn't make you any less of a person just because this can't be worked out. Sometimes
Sometimes
people just don't want to be reached, and that's not
maybe
a
I'll go
personal
back.
reflection of you.
No.
Maybe someday he will be reachable, but at this time in his life he's not. That's not a reflection of who you are.
He needs to fix
at all.
himself. My gosh. Yeah. Right.
Okay, because I do have some concerns for what's going on here. Are you taking any steps at this time or up to this point? Have you been taking any steps to try to protect yourself and your son emotionally and physically? And if so, what kind of things have you been doing?
Well, it's always avoidance and, don't agitate, I guess. But you never know.
And how does that make you feel?
Oh, it's a horrible way to live.
And your son?
It's horrible for him, too. He doesn't do well in school. Of course, he's not going to do well in school. Just, he had a hearing impediment, too, that I didn't know about when he went to first grade. He had an ear infection and didn't know that it affected his hearing. So the teacher noticed that something was amiss, and he was like reading lips, and they found out he couldn't hear. And they fixed his ear problem, with the antibiotics or whatever it was, and he was back to normal again.
Well, that's
Isn't
great.
that interesting?
Yes, that's great. Yes.
Like a karma thing.
Honestly, that could have, as a person who's hearing impaired, that could the result changes.
Mm-hmm. So,
it doesn't end life, but it surely does change things.
Right. So he dealt with that, though. I mean, I think that was pretty brave of him, to just learn another way,
Okay, what I want to learn about right now, because all this process is going to take some time, which is one of the things I want to go over with you in a moment here, is it up until the point we can get you relocated, identify the resources that you need, and get everything all put together for you. Have you developed an Have you developed an escape plan for yourself and your son?
Yeah,
and can you tell me a little bit about it?
Yeah,
Do you have a vehicle? Do you have some place to go? Do you have some money put up? Things of that nature?
Well, both of those two things were right. Yeah, I have been putting money away, hiding it, and also I have a vehicle. The vehicle is in my name, so why shouldn't I take it, right?
Okay, have you been preparing your son for the event that... have you been talking to him about it and explaining to him that...
Right, it's... Right.
And that it's okay that he understands...
But he's also fearful of his father, too, so, he's not... he's having trouble, too.
Yes, ma'am, I understand that. Okay, now, I'm really starting to feel that you are correct, that the only way out of this for you and your son to have a healthy life is to perhaps relocate you. What do you see that I can do? What's the most important thing I can do as your social worker to get you relocated and make sure that you stay successful no matter where you go?
Well, I guess just recommend me to a place, and maybe I wouldn't even mind starting not far away, but a distance away. Feel, like you feel safer. What I mean? Not anything local, because you're bound to run into.
That doesn't absolutely guarantee that you'll be safe. That
because
you've involved yourself with something like this, that you're always going to have to be vigilant, no matter what.
Sure, absolutely. But
We
you gotta
don't know
start
what
somewhere.
lengths. We don't know what lengths he will go.
At 45, I'd like to start my life over again. Positive, with a positive.
Yes, ma'am, and I'd love to hear that. That's wonderful.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Okay, here we go. What would you like to see as a future for you and your son? What do you see?
that we have a home somewhere and we make it a home, you know, someplace to grow up and whatever
As
happens,
far
happens.
as just having a home, that's there's more to it than that, right?
Well, starting over again.
And that
Starting
means,
clean.
and
Yeah.
that means,
It means a happier
For you,
life. For
what
sure.
do you need? What do you need to start over again?
A job. I need a job and a temporary place to stay. I guess a shelter somewhere. Then you go out. They help you with jobs and stuff, right? So get situated one and get a job and move on.
What level did you
Just got,
achieve in high school?
Huh?
What level did you achieve in high school?
oh, I graduated.
Graduated?
Just high school. That's it. Didn't graduate anything else. No.
Just from speaking with you, I mentioned it last week. You're a very intelligent young woman. And I think that I would like to suggest for you, and in part of the process when you're rethinking your future, that you do take into possibly a training school. Maybe you don't want to commit that
Yeah.
many years to college.
Yeah. Something like that.
Because there are things available for
Yeah.
you.
The world is getting bigger, I guess.
And on that same subject, you know that whenever human beings are subject to battering, no matter whether it's verbal battering, emotional battering, or physical battering, there's damage.
Yep.
That's
I
done.
would think so. Yeah.
And they have wonderful support groups.
Well, it's damaged when you don't want to be with a person that you're supposed to be with that you married. That somehow that got damaged, you know.
True.
So yeah, it's damaged. That's
Well, what are your feelings on joining a group that meets weekly or bi-weekly and just shares with other women
sure.
who have similar situations, and they also
Sure.
have a
Like
group.
a support group.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they also have a group
Like
for
an
young people
AA
as well.
or something. Abuse. Yeah, AA. That's something.
And you don't see you having any problem getting to those meetings and being able.
Well, once I get established, get my feet on the ground.
But you wouldn't be able to do something like that until actually you are removed from the
Well,
situation.
no, I'm really concentrating on like the escape thing that we were talking about before. I have to make sure all my ducks are in a row. So when I do escape to a safer
So
haven,
you really are. It sounds to me like almost you're saying to me that your movements are restricted. That your husband says to work and home. And
yes, there's always windows of opportunity, and so when if I have the other end secured, then I can plan and plot and do it.
Okay.
I was like, I can't just with everything go out there with no contacts. It would be hard to do in this world. So this organization or social work can.
Okay, now
There's
I
a
have one more
service
question
that's
for you.
ready.
I have one more question for you
Like
today.
food stamps.
We would make sure that you were accommodated, and I didn't mean to interrupt you. I do apologize. Because there's a couple things I do need to go over with you before we do end our session, but I do want to ask you this, and then I have a couple minor things that we have to cover before I end for the day. Now we're coming closer and closer in our conversation to recognizing and realizing that divorce is possibly the only way out for you, so that you can make a clean break. My question for you, is there any religious or personal financial limitations in front of you that would prevent you from getting that divorce, so that we can address those issues?
Well, no, I think my husband qualifies as a divorce person. Cheating, you don't do that if you're.
Oh, he cheats too. You didn't mention that.
Yeah,
before.
so it's an insult. And like Derek is impressionable
Have
age.
you been tested? Have you been tested for sexually transmitted diseases?
Yeah, I go to the doctor every once in a while. So far, I've had a few things, but it's not nothing that didn't get taken care of. Yeah, that can happen.
So, and you're saying you really, you're ready to move on with this and take our next steps.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I love to hear that, and you just keep that feeling and stay strong, and keep those numbers that I gave you last
I
week
was just gonna say, I
at
have
hand.
those numbers, yeah.
They're ready for you.
Okay.
Okay, and the only other thing I need to go over with you before we close for today, and it goes like this: we have 6 visits. And we have 50 minutes per visit.
Okay.
And we'll get you squared away. That doesn't sound like very much, but our first 2
I
visits.
think that's a good start. That helps.
Your first 2 visits will be just getting all this and getting resources created for you, and then from there we'll be out there and you'll see action. And before you know it, you'll be in a new place, in a new life.
Story behind
and we will have somebody that will take over where I left off, and continue working with you. When you go to a new city and start a new life, we're not going to well, we're done here. You're gonna have resources available to you.
We'll be right at the group meetings, always in contact,
Okay, so can I see you next week?
Sure.
Same time?
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Thank
see you then.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.